And we are live. Welcome back to the Manor Entropians. Julian McBain here. And we have a few things to chat about tonight. Fun stuff is happening. Okay, good. I did clear out after my last hunt. So, I'm just gonna do a quick... Ooh. Oh. Gotta get those sound checks. I really need to do that before I open up stream. There we go. We got sound. So the Gray Lady, the New York Times, has reported the Pentagon is going to release information on off-world vehicles not from this world. And I'm pretty sure I got the quote correctly. So now I want to talk about UFOs. Because I had aliens for August on my bingo card. Do y'all have aliens for August in your bingo card? I'm excited. I hope it's true. Like, I want first contact to happen. That would change everything. It'd be exciting as hell, too. Because just imagine what that would mean. Like, everything would change. Come on, there we go. I think it would be a lot of fun. I do. Because you have to speculate, what would these extraterrestrials be like, right? The Pentagon's come out and said, look, UFOs are real. We have no clue what the hell they are. Your guess is as good as ours, folks. To the point where the New York Times is reporting on it, it's very rarely will they come out with something that's absolute bunk. Which is not to say that they haven't made mistakes. They've absolutely made mistakes, but it's the New York Times. They vet most of their stories. Why are they blue? Why are they blue? Hi, cat. And everything was blue for... I better stop that before, you know, I get a copyright strike on me. Although, you know what? I wasn't going with Abu Da. I was more like Klingons, because I'm a Star Trek geek, and I've been watching all the Klingon episodes again. I probably do that about, you know, once or twice a month. But yeah. That's fair, you like blue. But no, I was actually talking about this with a coworker, right? And we're just chatting about, well, we chatted about a few things on that vein, because you've got the possibility that we have extraterrestrial intelligence coming to Earth. Maybe they're trying to initiate first contact, maybe they're scared to. I mean, let's face it, the sheer number of governments on Earth that don't necessarily play nice with each other, and then they've got to decide who to make first contact with. Now, everyone assumes it's going to be us or the UK, but it could also be Russia, it could be China. We don't know who they would make first contact with. And then, on top of all that, there is a... Oh, hey, son, thank you for joining me. Or us, I should say. But then we have all of the possibilities. What would their culture be like? What would they look like? You know, would they be humanoid? Would they be insectoid? Would they be like, for those of you who read the Animorphs books when you were kids, would they be like the Andalites or the Yeerks? For those of you who did not read the Animorph books when you were kids, Andalites were centaur-like creatures with a scorpion tail. They spoke telepathically to each other because they had no mouths. They had 2 eyes in their head and 2 on stalks that could move around. and they ate by crushing things under their hooves. So they were herbivores mostly, although if they stepped on worms or something, they take the protein. But they'd run through the grass, and that's how they got their food, because they would crush the grass and absorb the nutrients. And they did the same thing for drinking, which I haven't quite figured out yet, but you know what? Alien species, their anatomy doesn't have to work anything like ours. It's kind of like the shapeshifter in Star Trek 6 said, you know, we don't all keep our gentles in the same place. So, you know, anatomies, they could be humanoid, and then we have a Star Trek situation. Unlikely. They could be like the Yerks, which were a parasite that got into your brain and took you over. Now, I highly doubt that's going to be the case, but yeah, we've got some interesting things on Earth, so anything can happen. They could be a sentient species of ant. They could be like the, what the hell? No, we were the Micronians. The Macross, the Macross saga, the Zendrati. You know, just enormous creatures that don't even register us as being any more than ants. Hi, Double Eclipse. Welcome to the manor. We're talking about the New York Times article on UFOs, and the fact that it sounds like the Pentagon's going to be coming out with some information soon. Like, we're out of the realm of conspiracy theory. We're into the realm of what of this is true. Not is it true, what of it is true. And so we're just kind of speculating. But of course, me, being a Trekkie, my thoughts immediately went to Klingons, because why not? Because, you know, my two favorite races in Star Trek, the Klingons and the Ferengi. Which I know, talk about the two most diametrically opposed species in the show. I've never seen The Mist, and considering what you've just said, I don't know that I'd want to meet any species like in The Mist. We don't need a population restart. We need terraforming technology. Something to jumpstart Mars's electromagnetic field. Actually, if we could jumpstart Mars's electromagnetic field, we could probably figure out the terraforming thing on our own. Because that's the real trouble with us colonizing Mars. Is ideally, we would reconstitute Mars's atmosphere, which is possible. Like, they've put the theories together. They know how to do it. It's going to be difficult. It's a slow process, right? Nothing ventured that's worthwhile is a fast process like that. But, oh, I'm actually getting strong boxes for a change. So it's a slow process, but we can't do it on Mars specifically because there's no magnetic field. So solar wind comes in and just like blows. I just lost all my sound. Can anyone hear the game? Anyone at all? This has happened a couple times to me where the sound in the game will just drop. And I don't know what the cause of it is. Can you all hear me? Sound check. Did all my sound drop out? Test, test. No, my mic is working. Test, can anyone hear me?
Sound check.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's just Entropia Universe that's decided it's going to stop operating correctly. So let's see if we can't do this. Options, sound. Nope, that's all correct. No, still no sound. Okay, here's what I'm going to do, guys. I am going to quickly block the stream. I'm going to cycle the game, and then I am going to jump back in. So give me just a couple minutes. I'm going to pause the stream, and this is really frustrating. This is really frustrating because this has happened a couple of times. Here's a question. Understanding that there's no... Okay, thank you. My mic is live. But there's absolutely no other sound coming through. Just a couple minutes. I'm going to pause the stream. And this is really frustrating. You can probably hear my... This has happened a couple of times. Here's a question. Understanding that there's no... Okay, thank you. My mic is live. No, okay. I don't know why the game sound dropped. Oh, and I don't know how to fix it without stopping everything. Dear Mindark, this is a bug report. Your game sound drops for no reason. Thank you. See if there's any other... Yeah, professional level increase. That's awesome. Looks like no one wanted my rationalizer components. That's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cycle the game. So, I'm gonna kill this Longtooth, and then give me just a couple minutes, and we'll be right back. Okay, we should be back live here in just a sec. Okay, we're back. Let's hope this doesn't happen again. And we have sound. Look at that. That is beautiful. This is like the second or third time that's happened to me. I don't know what's going on. But I am going to have to file a support ticket now, I think. Maybe I'll check in the Entropia Discord later and see if any of them know anything about it. It's... I don't know if it's a bug or if it's just... I don't know. I don't have an answer. But it always happens like 15 minutes in. Which is kind of terrible when you're doing a video, because my videos are all half an hour long. Then all of a sudden, like 10, 15 minutes in, the sound just drops for no reason. Along with all my viewers. But, you know, that's life. So yeah, where were we? We were talking about aliens. Oh, what they would look like. So what do you think the aliens are, you know, when extraterrestrials come to our world, because they've got to be out there. There's no way in hell we're the only sentient species. We're the only planet that supports life. There's no way. I honestly think that if anything, we haven't been contacted because they all think we're Space Australia. Which is funny because, you know, we've had Scotty on here, and we look at Australia like the place is just covered in horrendously deadly fauna, right? And Australia looks at the United States or in Canada, so North America, and we've got horrendously dangerous megafauna, like bears and pumas, and they're all like, no. So maybe like all of the, if there's like a galactic federation or what have you out there, maybe they all look at Earth and they're like, Man, those humans are crazy. They live on a death world with megafauna that'll eat them, and then they keep them as pets. Right? They come up with strange words for giant human-eating creatures with claws and paws the size of frying pans and call them danger floofs. As if that's something to be affectionate with. Which I have to admit, I think is probably the most amusing thing I think about our species, is that we find, you know, we're an apex predator, right? We are at the apex. And we look at other apex predators, and the first thing we think of, it's adorable, right? They're beautiful. But we look at other apex predators as being aesthetically pleasing rather than being dangerous. We don't think, oh, that thing could kill me with a single swipe. Our first thought is, I kind of want to pet it. And I am no exception to this rule. Like, there were a pair of bears in the Dakota Zoo back when I lived in Bismarck, North Dakota. And it was a grizzly bear and a Kodiak bear. And they gazed at the crowds, and they were all really docile and calm and quiet. And they kind of gazed longingly at the crowds, and I was chatting with my ex-wife, because it was my ex-wife, myself, and my son. And I'm like, you know, I kind of think they just want a hug. And she looks at me and goes, "You first." Well, and I totally, like, if they were going to let me into the pen, I totally would have. It would have been worth it. You know, they might have taken my head off, but it's a Kodiak bear. The thing stood at the shoulder as tall as I am, and I'm 6 feet tall. Okay, this is a big-ass bear. It's like a tank on 4 legs. I couldn't believe it. Like, I knew they were big. But a couple of years later, the bears were very, very old, actually. They were elderly. They were starting to have a lot of quality of life issues. The zoo finally made the decision to put them down, which no one liked. The city didn't like it. The zookeepers didn't like it. The people didn't like it. But they were just in a lot of pain, you know, because animals reach end of life, and at some point you have to make the decision, you know, what's the name on this? It's Scotty's Pain. Okay. Is making them go through that pain worth the life that they'll live? And finally it came to the answer of no, so they euthanized both of them. And the zookeepers kind of had like there was an obit in the paper, for lack of a better term. It was a whole article on these 2 bears. And I shit you not, there was a line in there about how the bears love to get hugs from the zookeepers. Hey, Rince. Hey, Boomstick. Good to see ya. So yeah. I think that we haven't been contacted by extraterrestrials yet, because we live on Space Australia, and as far as they're concerned, we live in a death world, and they just don't know how to quite how to handle a species that goes out of its way to mush on apex predators. So, what do y'all got? What do you think the alien species is going to look like? Are they going to be Greys? Are they going to be Yerks? Are they going to be Andalites? Are they going to be Xenomorphs? Are they going to be like the Predators from Predator? I don't know if they have a technical... I know there's a technical term for them that Snack Eater uses when he's playing in that particular universe, but I don't remember what it is. Are they going to be the Zentradi? Oh, what's the name of that? Oh God, Tenchimuyo. Whatever Ayeka is. Although I think they were technically human. No, they weren't. They were another species. They were just humanoid and biologically compatible. But you know, you had all of the different species in Tenchimuyo. I mean, they could be the Khajiits, for all we know. You know, I've never played Mass Effect, so I don't know there, Jay. But yeah, absolutely. So here's a challenge to those watching. I want you all to think for a minute. What fictional alien or even like fantasy species could you see that you would think would be the coolest to walk off the ship? And which one would you think? Do you think you're least capable of handling? Like if they turned out to be like xenomorphs, you know, where you just look and go, oh shit. Alf, yes. Oh God, Alf. Everyone hide your cat. Oh, Boomstick, you didn't hear? Okay, so the Gray Lady, the paper of record, the New York Times. Okay. The New York Times reported that the Pentagon is getting ready to increase the transparency of their technically declassified but very secretive UFO investigations unit, and have confirmed the existence, confirmed that they were told that there are reports that are going to be coming out about off-world vehicles not of this world. And I'm pretty sure I'm quoting that. Let me see if I can't scare that up real quick. Okay, it's the Pentagon has found off-world vehicles not made on this Earth, and the Pentagon has now, I don't know if that's an official disclosure or if that's pending official disclosure, but it was reported by the New York Times. You were wearing your brown pants that day. Yeah, the Borg, yeah. Although, I don't know. At this point, I think the Borg might land and just go, wait a second, you're already Borg. Want some cybernetics? Boomstick, I've had August pegged for first contact all pretty much since we discovered that we needed a 2020 bingo card. I think it's coming. I think first contact's on its way. I don't know what it's going to look like. It could be a non-event. It could be something as simple as, you know, Elon Musk coming up and saying, yeah, I'm actually from a different planet. That's why I'm giving you all this cool electrical car stuff and getting you into space because it's time you guys catch up with the rest of us. Jay, if 2020, if August is Rapture, we're all screwed because exactly 3 people will end up being raptured, and the rest of us are going to be like, well, strike a match. And see, Rince, I don't think. if I had to make a guess, if an alien species was to make first contact, I don't think they'd be hostile. Because if they've got that much technology and they wanted to wipe us out, why bother initiating first contact? Just literally nuke us from orbit. Especially since, in all likelihood, like, humans are fairly predictable. We have strategies, we have tactics, we know what works on our planet. It doesn't take much for them to study our history for a couple of years, figure out how we're going to react to an invasion, and counteract that, right? If they needed the planet for resources, they wanted, like, the trees and stuff. They weren't just going to nuke us from orbit. But if they decide to, like, invade, right? It's not the humans they got to worry about. We're going to resist, we're going to fight back. It's all technology, it's weapons, and they're all prepared for that. No. Earth is Space Australia. They're going to have to figure out how to deal with our deadly megafauna. And if you think about just how biodiverse Earth is, and how unlikely that the sheer range of diversity that Earth has will exist on other planets, like, the galaxy is more likely made up of biospheres that have narrow biodiversity due to its distance from each individual star. So, like, you're probably looking at a jungle world. So I'm going to make some 40K references. So for those of you who don't know Warhammer 40K, pull up the wiki. We're getting deep dive here. But we're also going to make other science fiction references. So you've probably got planets that are all jungle, like Catachan in 40K. You got desert planets like Arrakis and Dune. You've got ice worlds like Hoth, right? I'm willing to bet that if you go around looking at all of the, and I'm going to use the Star Trek terminology, Class M planets, right? If you look at all the Class M planets, because I'm using that Star Trek term, because why not mix all the sci-fi in at the same time? The likelihood of all of the planets having the sheer insane biodiversity we have is actually very, very slim. So they're not going to be prepared for just like, wait a second, they've got snow, they've got jungles, they've got deserts, they've got megafauna. The megafauna actually, you know, don't eat each other at first sight. They just won't know what to do with it. They're going to walk up to a cassowary thinking that it's something gentle and get their faces eaten off. They're going to be shocked to find out the Australians lost the war to fucking emus. You're right, Rince. It is what makes Earth a Class M planet, our biodiversity, but it doesn't take the amount of biodiversity we've got to create a Class M planet. An ocean world could easily be a Class M planet because all you need is that planet's equivalent of phytoplankton creating all the oxygen. Because, you know, microscopic plants still create oxygen. And they can do so quite efficiently. You know, you don't need a biodiverse range of creatures to create an inhabitable place. This is all part of the science that went into figuring out if we could terraform Mars. And then, you know, lo and behold, there's no fucking magnetic field. But yeah, they fixed murder hornets. Yeah, no, we had zombies in was 2016 when bath salts came out? I think it is. If I had to guess, so aliens come in August. Unfortunately, the T-Rex thing was a hoax. That I was kind of saddened by. Yeah. I mean, 2020 bingo, man. 2020 bingo has been a lot of fun this year. And the best part is, no one's gotten bingo yet. No one has gotten bingo. Oh boy. Someone PM. I'm just gonna quickly check the PM. Oh, they want to know. Yup. Serial. He wanted to know if I'm in Serial Overdrive Society. So. Oh. Yeah. Oh yeah, zombie ants and chickens. Well, that's your yerks. Essentially. I think we're in for a ride, guys. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know what's coming next, but I'm looking forward to it. Now, for all we know, the alien species could actually be cybernetic and completely cybernetic in origin. You know, like Decepticons or Autobots. I do want to keep the politics down to a minimum, gents. But facts, you know, they are happening. We are dealing with that, but I do want to keep anything that is politically charged to a minimum. But you know what? I think that if first contact happens, all that goes away. Rinse, don't start in with the hurricanes, because knowing my luck, we've already had our 100-year hurricane here in Vermont. I was in North Dakota for it, dealing with tornadoes. I don't want to have to deal with hurricanes again. So yeah, 2020 has been a wild ride. It has absolutely been a wild ride. I am, you know, I have to admit, I am a little irritated. Because I'm 36 and now America starts a space force. And I can't join it. May or may not be a bit drunk, that's okay. But no, I think I do. I think first contact's coming. Maybe it's not in August, but I do think first contact's coming. I think it's going to be really cool no matter what. Honestly, I don't even care if the aliens are hostile. I don't. I just want evidence that they exist. We can figure the rest of that shit out later. You know? A space ranger. Jay, I want to start calling you Buzz. But yeah, no, when they announced the Space Force, I was like, Space Force! And then I'm like, crap, I'm too old. They'll never let me... I medicaled out anyway, but they'll never let me join. And then there's part of me that's like, well, you hold a governor's commission. Maybe they'll let you transfer. They don't allow that. I am tempted to ask the question just to see the look on a recruiter's face, though. I think that would be worth it. Just be like, hey, I'm in the State Guard. Here's my term of service. Here's my rank. Can I just, like, transfer? Just have the recruiter look at me like I've got 3 heads. Well, it's technically you gotta have the people before you can build the ships. And SpaceX is building the ships. We got the world's most brilliant mind behind spaceship design right now, right? Like I thought Sir Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic would do it, and unfortunately the Enterprise burned up or crashed, and now we've got SpaceX. We got Elon Musk leading the way in building new spaceship infrastructure. He has successfully landed a vertical rocket. I didn't think that was possible. And he's done it more than once. Well, not him personally, but his team. They've done it more than once. Vertical rockets, just landing, like, boop, done. And now we're looking to shoot a movie in space, starring Tom Cruise, of course. It's happening, man. I swear, if I had to make a guess, if there's an alien disguised as a human, it's Elon Musk. And I think he almost admitted to it, because if you watch the Joe Rogan podcast, and he has the episode where Rogan got Elon to smoke a doobie on camera. Joe asks Elon if he's an alien. Elon just stares at him with a little smile on his face. And it's just like, well, he didn't deny it. He didn't say yes, but he sure as hell didn't deny it. I'm like, whoa. I'm not saying Elon Musk is an alien, but ugh, the look he gave Joe Rogan's like, if I had to make a guess. Oh, is Elon Musk in the audience? No, I don't think Elon Musk watches my channel. That would be cool, though. I couldn't imagine. You know, just like, it hits the hologram drops, and you've got, like, a humanoid alien, like, not like the Vulcans, right? Elon Musk is a Vulcan, and he comes out and he goes, "Greetings, and I am here to help acclimate you to the Galactic Federation." And honestly, if it was Elon Musk, I think everyone would look at each other and go, "Yeah, we knew something was up." It would be as simple as that. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's Elon, it's fine. We all suspected Elon was the alien. It's cool. Hey y'all, I haven't asked yet tonight. If those of you who have not done so yet, we could please hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. I know roughly half of my viewers are subscribed, the other half are not. So I know there's a lot of you that watch that are not subscribed. So if you could please just hit the subscribe button, I really appreciate all the support. And today we're talking UFOs. We are talking UFOs because this shit's happening, and I'm excited. I am. And I'm at work, and I'm chatting with my coworker, and we're talking about aliens, and then I don't know how we got on the subject of monkeys. Oh. Other sentient species on Earth, right? There's arguments that there are there's valid arguments that there are other sentient species on Earth. And so we were chatting briefly about, you know, what would be the next species to cross that line. And I mean, I think that there's several species that have crossed the line of sentience, but getting to the point where technology begins to become really a thing, and I think it's either going to be the common chimp or the bonobo, because they're already using tools. They're already using weapons, right? Especially the common chimpanzee. Because let's face it, the human being is pretty much the mental combination of the common chimpanzee and the bonobo. It is. If you put the two together, distill them down, and provide us with enough time to evolve logic, you get the human being. So out of the two, I think the chimpanzee is more likely. And I think the only thing that's holding them back is fire. They have not discovered fire. Shit. Dolphins, yes. Mice, I'm less sure of. Dr. Boomstick, I'm pretty sure. In Boomstick's case, he's absolutely sentient, but I don't think he has a sense of self-preservation. No, it's not that Boomstick isn't smart. And I know, Boomstick, I really hoping you're in the room, because I don't want to be talking behind your back, dude. It's just, he lacks self-preservation. I mean, that video of him pranking his mom is just proof. If none of you have, if any of you have not seen it, go to Dr. Boomstick's channel, hit the subscribe button, and then look up the video where he's pranking his mom. Like, seriously. It is some of the funniest shit you will ever listen to. Well, they need to watch your other stuff too, but that's where they need to start. And man, I don't want to hear it. I'm not monetized on any of my videos. You can take some views without monetization. Although I do think, Boomstick, if you were to keep doing shit like that, you totally have a future in comedy. You really do. You totally have a future in comedy. Like, Robin Williams would be proud of that. If Robin Williams saw that video, I think he'd want to meet you in person. If he was still alive. I do. Oh, I haven't even checked to see where we are. 42 ped, 6 1/4, 210, 4, and 2 strong boxes, and a whole bunch of strap that we're going to convert to ammo. In the desperate hope that we're actually going to get a global sometime tonight. I am starting to get more strong boxes again, which means we might be able to use strong boxes to replenish our ammo. That'll be cool. Big shout out to Double Eclipse for subscribing tonight while on stream. I appreciate it. I don't know if you're still in the room, but thank you. So yeah, I'm kind of out of things to talk about on the UFO front. I had to talk about it. I had to. I saw that on Twitter today, and I was just like dumbstruck. Because it was on mainstream media. You don't see that shit on mainstream media. Like, that's if you had told me, hey man, aliens, I would have been like, okay, yeah, what did Alex Jones say now, right? No, the gray fucking lady. The New York Times reported it, and then it went on mainstream media, like the big three, and I'm like, holy shit, this shit's happening. Boomstick, do you really want the first food we offer the alien species to be burgers? I mean, I like me a cheeseburger. That's what I had for dinner tonight. I really like me a cheeseburger. I had it over an open fire. We grilled over an open fire, wood fire. You know, I love me a good cheeseburger. I'm all out of Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce. I can't find Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce. Did they stop making that? But, you know, we grill it over an open fire. I prefer it with the Jack Daniel's number 7. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to source it anywhere in fucking Vermont lately. So I had to use ketchup and mustard, but I love me a good cheeseburger. But I'm not going to offer the aliens a cheeseburger as the first offering of Earth food. Okay? First off, I'm going to make sure that they do eat meat. Pray to God that they don't have a taste for human. But then be like, here, try this filet mignon. Or try this bison. Because, frankly, bison steak is superior to cattle steak. Change my mind. You can't. Here's chicken. Everything else on Earth tastes just like this. Jim. Okay. You know what? Because I think Jim is Kentucky whiskey, isn't it? Because I'll accept Jim Beam being the first liquor we offer the aliens as long as it's the maple. Because, sorry not sorry, barley whiskey is superior to bourbon. But having had Jim Beam maple, I'll accept it. That's a good bourbon. No. No, Jay. We've been through this. You sear the outside of the steak, and you slap it on a plate. That is the proper way steak is made. The inside should be warm, but red. Dude, I'm gonna have to talk to your mama, Jay. I swear to God. I will admit, Boomstick, I haven't had a lot of Jim. I've had Jack, and I will not drink Jack. No, that's not true. I'll have Jack as in a mixer, so like Jack and Coke. I will drink Jack and Coke. I will not drink Jack straight or on the rocks. I did that once. It tastes like cough syrup, in my opinion. Gentleman Jack, I will drink in small amounts. But to me, Old Number 7's a cooking whiskey. Jim, I've never tried regular Jim Beam. So at some point I will give it a shot, no pun intended. Boomstick, is Jim a shootin' whiskey or is it a sippin' whiskey? You know, Jay, I'd love to be able to provide you some, except they canceled Harper's. Well, no, they went virtual with Harper's, and I laid in a whole batch just for Harper's. But now I have no way of offloading this mead that I made. Okay, that's a lie. As soon as we are allowed to do events again, I'll have a way of offloading all the mead I made, but I've got 3 gallons of mead laid in. And the event that I planned on serving it out at got virtualized thanks to COVID. That's fair, Boomstick. You know, I gotta say, it's kind of ironic and hilarious. We all play a game, Fallout 76, which is based in West Virginia, which is Appalachia. And I think everyone in our, like, group lives in Greater Appalachia, which is the entire Appalachian range. So, like, I'm in Vermont, which is still the Appalachians. The Green Mountains is a sub-range of the Appalachians. But all of us live in the Appalachians. Except maybe Lorspade, who lives in a city, and... well, no, because... Wait, no, it's not what? Ooh. Yeah, Rince is in West Virginia. Boomstick is in Kentucky, if I remember correctly. Boomstick, what's not... What's no, it's not? I know there's a delay, bro, and I didn't program the delay, but I'm noticing it's... because I'm not programming a delay, the delay is actually, like, 45 seconds, which is ridiculous. Ouch! West Virginia's discount Appalachia. Ouch. Damn. Ooh, shots fired, man. Oh. You know, it's funny, it occurred to me at some point in this year that, so I'm from Vermont, I was born in New Hampshire, I was raised in Vermont, I've been in Vermont since I was 3, excluding the time I spent in North Dakota as an adult. I was raised in Vermont, I'm a Vermonter, I'm a woodchuck. No matter how much I try to hide it, no matter how much I try to suppress it, I am a woodchuck. Woodchuck is literally a Vermont hillbilly. I never thought of myself as a hillbilly until the last year or so. Until I realized that a lot of my mannerisms, a lot of the way my family does things, like we joke about being redneck, no, we're fucking hillbillies. We're just hillbillies without banjos. Boomstick, in order to not have dial-up internet, you gotta not have a phone line. Okay, so there are places in Vermont that don't have phone lines either, but still. Like you care your English. Yeah, that's the truth. When English think hillbillies, they think of all of the Scots. Which ironically are my ancestors. Okay, no, I'll... If we're gonna play this game, Boomstick, if we're gonna play this game, I think Kentucky's pissed off at Vermont because we were admitted to the Union the day before you were. And there are places in Vermont that are very, very similar. I mean, you can in theory, but why would you want to run phone line there, is the point. The one downside to the delay is I'm not sure what everyone's reacting to. Like, I don't know where in the conversation y'all are. So I get to watch the replay and say, oh, that's what they were reacting to. You know, Boomstick, you'll appreciate this. My property, the property I live in, my family's land, has something like 7 species of grass on the 3 acres of lawn we have. Well, lawn and field. 7 of them. 5 of which are on the actual lawn. Okay? And the lawn is maybe an acre. And so, and after the moles got to it, you know, we're gonna rototill it next year and re-seed, just start over. It's been 22 years since we got the place. It's time to just, you know, give it a good refresh. I'm trying to convince my family to switch to Kentucky bluegrass. Being a New Yorker raised by a Southern woman, y'all. See, Jay, you just gotta move. You gotta move a little bit to the east. Vermonters say y'all. Not as often as I do because I lived in the Midwest, but Vermonters say y'all. Okay, so I lived in the Midwest and I dated a Texan for 5.5 years. I really like Texans. Hell yeah, I got grass in my yard. We also have a road going all around the property. All stay mat and sand. We have another road that goes down into the woods. We don't have any go-karts. We have a tractor. We had the frame for a go-kart. Never found a motor for it. Never, honestly, mostly due to laziness. Like, we had the frame. We could have put the whole thing together. And just never took the time. Hey man, I'm down for dirt tracks. I'll totally run a go-kart around a dirt track. Frankly, I wish moonshining was legal. Because I'd be doing that too. I ain't putting no friggin' tiller motor on a go-kart, dude. You ain't gonna get 2 horsepower to that sucker. I want to take the engine off a fucking Honda Goldwing and put that on a go-kart, okay? We're talking, yeah, okay, they're small cylinder, but it's a 6-cylinder engine. I want to put a 6-cylinder friggin' engine on the back of a go-kart. Tiller motor, are you shitting me? Well, let's put it this way. Although my family has never done so, and that's the honest to God's truth. Although I think it's more out of just not bothering rather than any prescription against it. We do have friends that do shine. I have had some high quality Vermont moonshine in my day. Honestly, and the best part is about Vermont, right? It's technically illegal to make your own whiskey. It is, unless you get all the permits, and the permits are going to cost you around $1,500 to $1,600. I've actually considered dumping the money. If I had just a little more income, I'd probably dump the money into it just because I love whiskey. I'd love to try making my own because I started making my own mead. It's 100% legal to make your own mead because mead is a type of wine. You can make 200 gallons a year. I can't produce 200 gallons a year of mead. I don't have the time or the money to produce 200 gallons of mead. But producing liquor and spirits is regulated. Vermont actually has looser regulations than most places, but you still have to get all of the necessary permits. Um... 20 horsepower tiller motor. Oh shit. Yeah, that'll do the job. But the funny thing is, if my my concern would be that if I were to be caught moonshining, I get caught by the feds. Because in all likelihood, if a local cop or the county sheriffs were to come and say, "Are you running a still?" You could walk up to them and say, "Yeah, you want some?" Because it's just, it doesn't, why would they bother? It'd just be like, dude, no, you gotta stop, man. Take that shit down. Okay, Vermont cops. So Vermont cops are actually a unique form of cop because they're really laid back about unimportant shit. Okay. So there's a story. I had my ex-girlfriend, one of my ex-girlfriends, way back in the day, back when I started, before I started college. So it was my second girlfriend. And she had a neighbor in her apartment complex who was a serious pothead. Like, you get a contact high just walking into his apartment, pothead. And he decided he needed to transport a houseplant to his girlfriend's place. And we're not talking like a little 8 to 12 inch houseplant. Apparently, this thing was like 3 feet tall in the pot. No pun intended. In the planter. So he's bringing this sucker out to his car. And a city cop pulls up behind him. He's got this 3-foot marijuana plant on the trunk of his car as the cop pulls up behind him. The cop flashes his lights twice. Gets out of his car, and this guy, no shit, puts his arm around the plant like it's his girl and says, "Hey, how's it going?" And the cop's just like, "Dude, just go inside, okay? Leave the plant where it is and go inside." Hey, Whispers, good to see ya. The cop destroys the plant, which of course makes the poor neighbor kind of, you know, irritated. But he understood. It's the cop's job, right? The cop destroys the plant, tosses it aside, and just shakes his head. Doesn't even bother writing the kid a ticket. And this is back before pot was really decriminalized in Vermont. Because now it's illegal to a certain extent, and then it's decriminalized to another extent, and then it's illegal again. But like, either they hadn't decriminalized it yet, or they just barely decriminalized it. And the cop just pulled up, and he just rolls up, and he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Just go inside. I don't even want to bother writing you a ticket. Just go inside. I'm gonna do my job, and I'm just gonna roll away and pretend I didn't see this shit." John Deere lawnmower 70 miles per hour. I believe it. John Deere puts out some serious shit. So, Whispers, today we have talked about aliens, monkeys creating fire, and moonshine, whiskey, moonshine, and apparently marijuana now. Whoops, there we go. Okay, so what do y'all think? We're at 10 o'clock. Are we going long tonight, or is it going to be a normal 90-minute segment? Because I'm having a blast. But if I'm going to go more than another 30 minutes, I need to take a fiver. Whispers, you are the wind beneath my wings. You have a good night, Rince. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. Okay, you know what, Whispers? You got a good point. It's Friday. It's going to go long, so as soon as this long tooth is down, I'm taking Yawn Fiver. Find myself a place that's not quite so dangerous. You know, this place reminds me of the Badlands, and I remember how much I miss the Badlands. Like, I don't want to live in the Badlands again, I don't think, although it was a really cool experience. But, I love camping there. Anyway, okay. I'm going to take a 2 to 5 minute break. I'm going to replenish my, my drink, and I will be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Thank you for your patience. We have a... Why are we talking about boomsticks poop? I mean, seriously, guys. We get enough poop jokes in MMOs. We don't need them in the stream, too. And, you know, you mentioned, you know, I call myself a hillbilly, but I don't use a tiller motor for a go-kart boomstick. That's fair, but keep in mind, I'm a woodchuck, which is a specific type of hillbilly. You know, we don't necessarily use tiller motors for go-karts, although I've seen it been done. But I legit have a firing range in my backyard. And a knife throwing board in my backyard. Ms. McBain? Who you calling Ms., dude? Yes, smash the like button. Smash the like button. Thanks, cat. I thought by now you'd have run screaming. That would be Mother McBain. I live in a multi-generational household. We're down to 3 now, unfortunately. We were 4. And, my mama will bust you up as fast as your mama will. That's cool. It is okay. The one downside to taking breaks is it kind of breaks the flow of conversation. But Kat is right. If you want more quality programming like this, where we talk about, you know, redneck topics, aliens, whiskey, monkeys, weed, tiller motors. Make sure you hit the like button. Hit subscribe. You know what? Give me just a second, Boomstick. I'll actually post the frickin' link in the description. Or in the chat. There it is right there. I haunt the bud... Boomstick, I know you're drunk, but now you're starting to slur your chat. Say that again? I hot the bud button, now it's red. Oh, so fun fact, way back in the day, so when I graduated from high school, I took a job at Wally World. And I worked there for 5 years. I think. No, maybe, yeah, I worked there for 5 years, because it was the first 2 years of college that I went through before I stopped working there. And, one day I'm on the floor, and we get a phone call from another store, right? And the guy gets on the phone, and he starts asking about something, and it's a product we have, or I think we have it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I think we have that. Let me go look. And we're talking on the phone, and he's like, yeah, I know you've got, like, X number of these, and you're going to have, you know, we just need to send someone up to grab 2 of them, because we got a customer who wants them. I'm like, yeah, no problem. Let's just make sure we have them, pull them off the floor. I'm like, dude, we don't have the size you're looking for. Global, 218 ped. Holy shit. That's pretty good. Oh, hit the sub button. There we go. But anyway, so we don't have the size. And so I'm talking to this guy, and he's insisting that we have it. And he says he's going to drive up to our store to grab it. And he says a town that's not the town I live in. I'm like, whoa. What state do you think I'm falling from? And he goes, Kentucky. And I'm like, okay, congratulations. You just reached Vermont. If you want to drive up here, I'll see you in 2 days. Come to find out, the store number, because we had a way of dialing stores that didn't use the regular phone system, was kind of like an intranet. The store numbers were 1 digit off. But as it happens, apparently, Vermont's got, the entire state of Vermont's an 802 area code. If I remember correctly, the 803 area code is, in fact, Kentucky. No, I'm wrong. It's South Carolina. Never mind. So, yeah, it must have been internal. But there was a point to that story. I lost my train of thought. It's entirely my fault. There was a point to that story. I guess it was just the idea that, you know, you have someone call you from halfway across the country thinking that you're just down the road. And it's like, oops! Oh, you're in the 502. I'm in the 802. And when did calling the place you live by its area code become a thing? Like, a lot of Vermonters just say, they're like, yeah, I live in the 802. I don't know what happened to that particular model, but it was shuddering pretty bad. So maybe that was it. Maybe they dialed 502 instead of, or they dialed 802 instead of 502, which makes sense. It's easy to ham fist the keyboard. So that would probably be it. They probably hit 802, same number, expecting it to be Kentucky. Boomstick, I know what bless your heart means. Why are you saying bless your heart to me, dude? That's not nice. But yes, I started my career... I technically started my career at a place called Grand Union, which is a local grocery. Which makes sense because I'm a third-generation grocer. Went on to Walmart. Went on to a company called Cumberland Farms, which is a convenience store up here, which has just recently, like in the last 2 years, been bought out by Kroger. I'm sure the majority of people watching this know what Kroger is. And then I worked for Loaf and Jug, which is another Kroger company. Cumbies wasn't a Kroger company at the time, but I worked for a Kroger company called Loaf and Jug in the Midwest. And then I worked for Wells Fargo because the service manager was desperate, and apparently I fit the profile. No. Well, yes, it's not entirely untrue, but let's face it, I was not qualified to work at a bank when I got my job at a bank. And, yeah, now I'm back in Vermont, and I work where I work, and to prevent conflicts of interest, I will not disclose where that is. I will say I still work in the greater finance industry. It depends on when you worked for Walmart, Boomstick. When I worked for Walmart, they still had a lot of the qualities that Mr. Sam demanded, even though he was gone. And then things just changed. Like, I left Walmart about the time they were making a huge number of changes. And, you know, I think that the problem is that Walmart is not keeping up as fast as they want to. They're trying, but because of it, they're dropping. It's like trying to juggle too many balls at the same time, you know. And they did have a string of bad CEOs. I think the people that work at Walmart are generally good. I think the majority of people that work at Walmart are honest, hardworking people that just are they're overworked. They're 110% overworked. But yes, I definitely have some issues with the corporation itself. When did I get avoidance? Secret skill unlocked at 117,000 skill points. What is that under? It's probably under defense. There is, and I am inept. Ha! I love it. Inept. Well, yeah, I only unlocked the skill tonight, or just the other day. Apparently, I unlocked it maybe yesterday, because I didn't start at 0 today. But, wow. Jay, yes, Cumbies still exists. Cumbies is now a subsidiary company of Kroger. Apparently, the Hasiotis family finally sold it off. And yeah, cart pushing is by far probably the hardest job No. I have to say that the job that my ex-girlfriend does is probably the hardest now. But for years, it would have been cart pushing. Cart pushing in garden center, depending on what you were doing. Online grocery pickup has got to be the most brutal job Walmart has now. And I never did it, but I've talked to people who did like ship from store where they go out, they shop the store for people. They're basically personal shoppers for 1,000 people at the same fucking time. It's ridiculous. People get paid buku bucks to be personal shoppers, and it's they're not paying these people. They're not paying their employees buku bucks to be personal shoppers for all their customers. It's just insane. I have a lot of respect for the people that work at Walmart because of that. Not just because I worked there for 5 years, but because of all of the new crap they have to contend with that we never had to, that I never had to. I absolutely do. Jay, never say never. The instant you say never, that's when you're forced into it. And you want to know something? There's nothing wrong with working frontline retail. There are a lot of good retail companies. One of my favorite jobs I've ever had was working for Best Buy. That's absolutely frontline retail. I loved working for Best Buy. The only reason I left Best Buy, because I would have considered making a career of it. Go into management, figure out, you know, a way to deal with the fact that it's hard to get to events. I loved it. Loved working for Best Buy, despite, you know, all of the frustrations about things like Black Friday. Schedule didn't work in with being a single father. So I had to go back to, frankly, my first love, which was my first career love, which was working in finance. But I absolutely, there's just something really, I think the thing about retail, it is one of the most honest things you can do. And I don't mean that from like, well, there's dishonesty in finance or in any other, no. It literally is, you go, you work 8 hours, you work hard, you go home, you're tired, it's rough, but it's not too rough. You have to deal with people of all shapes and sizes and attitudes and shit. And it's just like working in grocery. It's one of the oldest professions in the world. And there's just, you work hard, you make an honest buck, and it's not an easy buck, right? But you do it, and you make it through, and you can make a good career out of it. And so there's something about that there's, and maybe it's because I'm a third generation grocer that I think like that. But does that mean I want to go back to it? No. You know, I'm back in finance. I could go back to it. It would not be hard for me to go back to it. But I don't want to go back to it because the growth is so difficult. I find that to be a challenge. Okay, Jay, that's fair. Your first career was loving YouTube. Okay, Boomstick. I gotta ask, Boomstick, how much of the gym have you been downing tonight? Because, like, I had 2 Kahlua and milks earlier, which Kahlua and milk is not very potent. Come to find out. Although that's because I'm used to drinking scotch. And I'm on my second scotch of the night. And, I can still spell. I won't be getting behind the wheel of a car anytime in the next, 12 hours, but I can still smell. Actually, considering what I've drank and the time period in it, I can probably get behind the wheel of a car in 8 hours, but I won't need to get behind the wheel of a car. I will be behind the wheel of a lawn tractor in under 12 hours. Right, Whispers? Oh, no, I understand the first one you loved. Okay, no, that's fair. That is fair. It's not the first career you had, it's the first one you loved. That is 100% fair. You could do the job, you could handle the physical aspect. Being mistreated by customers. Yeah, that's true. The downside is there are a lot of shitty people out there. And inevitably, the shitty people take it out on retail workers. Which just is pretty much proof that they're shitty people. And Boomstick, I will be sober when I get on the lawn tractor. Because yes, you can get a DUI for driving a lawn tractor in Vermont as well. On your own property, in fact. And considering my old man's best friend's a cop, I'm not taking that risk. I would distill moonshine in plain view of the road before I decided to jump on a lawn tractor under the influence in this state. Because the DUI will get my ass thrown in jail. Distilling moonshine? The cops are just gonna be like, dude, really? I don't want to deal with this paperwork. Break that shit down, man. And then I lose my job. Because I work in an industry where, I work in an industry where a DUI is essentially an instant termination. Period. Dot. Yeah, no. No, I will be sober when I get on the lawn tractor in the morning. I probably won't even be hungover. I've been drinking enough water. Spend enough space between the two Kahlua milks and the whiskey. And let's face it, hangovers suck. Alright, Jay, you have a good night, man. Give my regards to Anne. What else sucks, Boomstick? Is it being out of whiskey? How is a good loot? How are we doing for loot? Like, we recycled. Got 68 in kidney oil. 1550 in hides. Rationalizer components, because why the fuck not? We're doing okay. We had the huge global and shrapnel, which gives all kinds of ammo. So, man, old games. I still have my NES. I wish I knew how to do what like a lot of the speedrunners do. Hook my NES up to recording software. Cause I would totally do Ninja Gaiden on live stream. Or better yet, I've recorded as a series, and of course Ninja Gaiden, you can't save. If you terminate the game, game ends. You're done. Gotta start from the beginning again. I would do that shit beginning to end. Like, we're talking the original 2D platformer, Ninja Gaiden from like 1983 or 6 or whenever the fuck it came out. It was amongst the most brutal games ever created. Everything on screen was pretty much out to kill you. We're talking old school fucking platformer. You know what, man? The $100 bill would be worth it. The other thing is I need to take apart my nest and clean off the contacts, but the copper contacts, because they used a copper plate to connect the cartridge. So of course they're all freaking oxidized. You got to get in there with a wire brush and clean off all the contacts so that it'll actually play properly. All the blowing we had to do into the thing to make it work. Red Kryptonite, what's up? I gotta thank you, Red, for all of your support. Red Kryptonite is my only Patreon. It's my only Patreon on Patreon. And that support has really helped to get me through and continue streaming. Like it's been a boost. And man, I know I've been procrastinating on finishing Personal Finance for Gamers. It is in the works. It's been kind of a crazy year, but I do intend to get back into it. I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks I'll be able to take some time off from my 9-to-5, which has been just insane lately. And I can jump in and there's someone in the game called Wu Feng Chang. And there's a purpose behind me saying that, but I'll get back to it. But I will get it finished, and I will get you the ebook that as promised. Yeah, man, the entire first half of the stream was about UFOs. So please, by all means, catch it on the replay. So Wu Fei Chang is a character in Gundam Wing, which is one of my favorite animes. And he's a very interesting, very complex character. Did not expect to run into someone using the name in Entropia, though. The only thing that would have caused me to head desk a little more would have been if they named themselves Hiro Yui. And if you do like my work enough to consider supporting it, please go to patreon.com/JulianMcBain. You will get a copy of the ebook, The Modern Entropian, immediately. And when I finally get off my sorry ass and finish it, you will get a copy of Personal Finance for Gamers, which will be released exclusively to my Patreon. You saw your second UFO ever on Monday. Oh no, this is story time, Red. Time to cough it up. We want to hear it. Because we're all speculating on what aliens are going to be the aliens that come out. Whether they're going to be xenomorphs or predators or Andalites or Yerks or Gray. Because, Gray. Or the aliens from fucking Independence Day. And right, if you took some video, post that shit and post the link in my chat. I want to see that. It's probably a good thing I'm not monetized because I swear way too much. Actually, interestingly, YouTube has a whole video guide just to tell people when they can swear in their videos. They say, I think it's the first 10 minutes. If you don't swear in the first 10 minutes, it's fine. So after the first 10 to 15 minutes, you can just start dropping F-bombs and no one gives a shit. I do have to admit, there is some freedom to not being monetized. I can just drop F-bombs. I gotta agree with you. Can you do it in both Boomstick? Drop the link in the chat here in case anyone else is interested, and just PM me the link as well. Because you know, I'm not smart enough to remember to check it, but I will check it when I see your message. I'll be like, oh, what the fuck is this? Oh, yeah, we talked about this in stream like 2 nights ago when I was 2 whiskeys in. Oh, is it the first 30 seconds? Oh, shit, I'm all set. I mean, most people can make it through the first 30 seconds. If you want to not swear through the first 30 seconds, you got to come up on the channel, like, as it's opening up and go, everybody, hi, fuck. It's just be like, everyone's like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Insects. Not a fan. Okay, that's fair. Thanks, Boomstick. I appreciate it. Yeah, I need to put like a disclosure on all of my videos. It should be, they should all be. I'm totally stealing this from Rusty DeWeese, which is a Vermont comedian. All of my videos need to be rated SC, which means some cussing. Okay, Red, that's fair. When you go back and rewatch things, I admitted I'm pretty sure that Elon Musk is... I think that if first contact's gonna occur, they are already here. They're wearing like holograms or they're changelings or something like that. But if I had to guess, if there is one human that's prominent that's an alien, it's Elon Musk. And I mean, Mark Zuckerberg is an alien too, but that's pretty obvious. But I mean, Elon Musk of all people, because he's just like, he puts things out. He went on Rogan, right? And I said this earlier. I know I did. So those of you who heard this, for this is a repeat, please bear with me. He goes on Rogan, and Rogan's like, dude, are you an alien? He just gives Rogan a little smile and doesn't answer him. Like, never answers him throughout the entire interview. And it's like, Elon Musk, I think, just answered the question, dude. He's a fucking alien. So, Red, as for the weaving, if there's no sound, you're absolutely right, but a chopper could absolutely do just about anything. As a former helicopter pilot, I can say that you can do a lot of weird shit with a helicopter. But depending on when it is and what it's doing, you're absolutely right. Then that's definitely in the ballpark of And technically, they're not UFOs because the Pentagon can't do anything using, you know, nomenclature from the people. They're unidentified aerial phenomenon, so they're UAPs. And they've admitted there are UAPs. And apparently now they've admitted that there are UAPs that are off-world vehicles not from planet Earth. My hope is first contact in August. I mean, that's on my bingo card. First contact's in August. Aliens come. And, first contact happens and they contact governments of the world and, you know. Oh, God. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And, I'm glad I'm not monetized. There's a 100 million-year-old computer floating about. You say Google it. You need to be posting the links on that shit, Boomstick. I see the primitive bee. I see a 2,000-year-old computer. The anti-Kythron mechanism, is that what you're talking about, Boomstick? Okay, that's fair. Red, that's fair. .98 million years off. Thank you. That's not a huge margin of error by any means. At all. But yeah, no, I gotta agree. I think the alien, if there are aliens, they're probably already among us. They're disguised. Our government knows about them. They might be humanoid. Or they might be humans from another planet. Maybe there's another colony of humanity out there. Maybe it's like some, not Babylon 5. Shit. Battlestar Galactica. Where they came from other planets and came to Earth and repopulated because their own planets had been devastated. We don't know. I do think that, if first contact were to happen, I'm gonna break my own rule here, right? But I was talking to a coworker about this, and I gotta just share this with you. Like, for a long time, I assumed that the best indicator that we had not been contacted by extraterrestrial life was the fact that Donald Trump had not tweeted about it. Because he'd actually mentioned, like, in his campaign, he mentioned that he was going to talk about Area 51. And he hadn't. But I think it's because they were like, no, you can't do that. There's an agreement. We can't do that. And so I think he's going to come out and be like, aliens are among us. They come for first contact. They're here because we have something that they need and we have something that they need. We're going to build Trump Tower on this other planet. It's going to be the biggest vacation spot, the best. It's going to be huge. I swear to God, my Trump impression is much better when I'm not drinking. I mean, let's face it, that's what would happen. That's how they would announce it, right? It'd be like, yeah, we're building buildings on other planets. By the way, there's aliens. And Elon Musk is one of them, which is why he's building all these electric cars and solar panels and giant-ass batteries. and spaceships so we can join this galactic federation. Oh, Boomstick. Streaming is so much easier with alcohol. It's like running a ticket booth at an event. Yes. Red, I totally did a whole thing on the Space Force because I'm kind of irritated that now I'm too old to actually like get into it. I can't even justify getting my medical overturned for it. But I hold a governor's commission, right? I'm technically a captain in the Vermont State Guard. I'm a captain in the Vermont State Guard. It would not be difficult for me to be like, well, I could strike up the conversation, but I kind of want to walk in like in uniform to an Air Force recruiter, like I want to join the Space Force, and have them just like look at me like I've got 3 heads and be like, wait a second. I'm like, I want to transfer, because you can't. State defense forces can't transfer directly into the Fed. But I think it would be hilarious as shit. What's your opinion there, Boomstick? You mean the same way that the like robots building themselves and it's building up other stuff, and maybe there's, I don't know if I buy that. Or are you talking like a shipyards? This is what a pheromone gland looks like. Not quite sure how to feel about that. So, I partially agree, but I don't think that the amount of information control that would be required for something like that, of that magnitude, would be too large for the technology we have right now. We'd have to have fucking cloaking devices to hide something like that from just from regular telescopes, let alone from the more powerful ones. So I don't think that we're at that point yet. But here's why I feel that the information on UFOs is so pertinent, right? Especially now. 1. The Pentagon, the fucking Pentagon is admitting that there are unidentified aerial phenomena that are vehicles that are not from Earth. I.e., there's fucking aliens. The Pentagon is saying this. These guys are not exactly the epitome of transparency. And they're like, yeah, guys, there's fucking aliens, okay? Sorry. 2. The President of the United States has created, and it has been executed. It wasn't just like when he said it, everyone's like, yeah, whatever, it's not gonna happen. No, we have a Space Force. They're using the fucking Starfleet Delta, which I know was technically the Space Force or the Space Command first, because when Star Trek came out, they were going to do one thing, and then the military was like, hey, use this symbol because it's going to help us recruit, and it's the Cold War. So you use the Delta. And now the Space Force has gone back, and they looked at the Starfleet Delta that was created at the behest of Air Force Space Command, and said, yeah, we're going to do it this way. So now we've got the Space Force using the Starfleet Delta, like almost to the complete literal sense, including the fucking star in the middle. And the Pentagon's going like, yeah, there's some alien spacecraft here, and we don't know the aliens, or we haven't admitted to the aliens yet, and we're pretty sure they're going to be coming back now? Yeah, fucking aliens, dude. That's August. First contact's happening in August. I don't care. I did not know that the Navy had patented anti-gravity technology, but I'm totally going to look into that now. And we're not talking, like, opposing magnets. We're talking, like, legit anti-gravity shit, right? Because anti-gravity is important, although I do think artificial gravity is more important. Boomstick, that's probably a good idea. Honestly, it's 11 o'clock. I'm gonna finish off this long tooth, and we're gonna finish the stream up. So, if you're willing to stick around for like another 2 minutes, we're cutting it out. If we can figure that shit out, there, Red. We're one step closer. We're one step closer to faster than light technology. We're doing it, man. We're getting there. Are you kidding me? I don't want to have to hoof it all the way back to base. Fuck. There we go. Nope, I think legit August is aliens. It's on my 2020 bingo card. Oh, I need to fuel this sucker up, don't I? I wonder what happens when you run out of fuel. Like, do you just not able to move, or does it just legit crash? Or it could blow up, I don't know. Okay, good. I didn't fall through the damn world again. Whoa. Well, that's a reflection. I didn't even notice that they reflect in the windows. Okay, y'all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. All right, everybody. I really appreciate all the support. It's been a really fun stream. And next stream is on Tuesday. Next vids should be tomorrow. Y'all have a good one.